Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Just take a deep breath in. And let's talk about visualizing. Visualizing what you want and getting what you expect. I've been reading Your Invisible Power by Genevieve Behrend, and you really have an invisible power within you that you can cultivate. But Genevieve Behrend says, visualizing without a will sufficiently steady to inhibit every thought and feeling contrary to your pictured thought would be as useless as a magic lantern without the light. So you can get a wonderful picture in your mind, but unless and until you focus, bring the picture into focus, get clear on what it looks like, feel what it's like to be there, and hold that image. So the will is one of your intellectual faculties, and you can hold a picture that you want, not with willpower, not force, but with your will, imagining it, feeling it, getting clear on what it looks like. And it really doesn't matter if it's a car, a house, a trip, a business, a love life, perfect health, something that you really desire. The more you get clear on what it looks like, the more you practice it, the more you hold the picture in spite of what's going on around you in the outside world. Your picture must eventually turn into physical form. But I know from Bob Proctor's teaching, and I know from my own experience, that when you focus on what you want and then practice feeling like, oh, it's never going to get here, or practice feeling contrary, thinking about everything else and what could go wrong, it waters down the picture. Your beautiful dream will dissipate, will disappear, just like the other thought patterns. So when you get a thought, you want to practice holding it on the screen of your mind without any ifs. Like, if this happened, then that might. What if it doesn't happen? But if you hold the picture in your thought and feeling without any ifs, buts, and ands, just simply realize that your thought is the great attracting power. Then the energy, the thoughts, the mental picture that you give energy to is what is developing into your life. Genevieve Behrend says, the joyous assertion with which you make your picture is the very powerful magnet of faith, and nothing can obliterate it. You are happier than you ever were because you have learned to know where your source of supply is, and you rely upon its never failing response to the direction you give it. So let's think about that. You're gonna first of all sit calmly, get your body still. If you're driving, of course, you're not going to be able to close your eyes, but if you're in a room where you can be by yourself and close your eyes, shut out the rest of the world. Take a deep breath in and imagine there is power flowing to and through you. There is a beautiful lavender energy, infinite wisdom, infinite intelligence, universal mind, your higher self, and it is forever flowing around you, just like gravity is forever flowing. The power of God, law of attraction, higher energy to tap into. It is always available to you, and you give it direction. Everyone wants to be happy, so the study of visualization enables you to get more out of life than you ever thought possible, than you've ever enjoyed before. When you think about infinite possibilities and keep your mind open and start bringing into your mind's eye a picture of what you truly desire. Let's take a little walk along the beach. If you're seeing my slides, if your eyes are closed, you can picture a beautiful beach that goes on seemingly forever, with water stretching out to the vast horizon. A few clouds in the distance, causing the sunrise to look purple and pink and gold, orange, peach, yellow. If you're seeing my slides, you might see a picture of the sunrise and some water. If you can see colors when you close your eyes, that's fantastic. If you can't, just imagine. Take yourself back to a time where you were so happy. Maybe you were seeing your favorite colors. Let's just, in our mind, practice visualizing walking along the beach. The sun is starting to rise. The sand is so soft beneath our feet. Just walking along, maybe you can hear the water starting to ripple. Gentle waves are just lapping up onto the shore. Take a deep breath in and let that go. Take another deep breath in. Maybe you can bring in your sense of smell. Maybe you can start to smell the ocean. Your memory can remind you what the ocean smells like, what seagulls sound like, what water rippling sounds like. Maybe the water will touch your toes and it feels cold. Your mind is very powerful. You can imagine that you're on a beach in Hawaii. somewhere in Florida, at a northern lake in Saskatchewan, or your favorite place in Alberta. You can be in Banff, you can be in Waskesiu, you can be in Niagara Falls. Your mind is so powerful, you could physically be in any one of those places, and your mind can start to worry about your family or your business or your bills. Instead of worrying about what you have to do next, just focus on what would you love to bring into your life. Let's continue walking along the beach, looking out at the water, letting any cares drift away. You could pretend there's little clouds, little thought bubbles of clouds. And when a thought pops into your head that is about something that you're concerned about, you could just say next and allow it to float by. The more you practice visualizing, the possibilities abound in your life. Genevieve Behrend gives an example. She said, a businessman once told me that since practicing visualization and forming the habit of devoting a few minutes each day to thinking about the work as he desired it to be, in a large, broad way, his orders more than doubled in 6 months. He went into a room every morning before breakfast, and he took a mental inventory of his business as he had left it the evening before, and he enlarged upon it. And then he expanded and expanded in this way until his affairs were in a remarkably successful condition. He would see himself in his office doing everything he wanted done. His occupation required him to meet strangers every day. In his mind, in his mental picture, he saw himself meeting these people, understanding their needs, and supplying them in just the way they wished. This habit strengthened and steadied his will almost inconceivably. By mentally seeing things as he wished them to be, he acquired the confident feeling that the certain creative power was exercising itself for him and through him for the purpose of improving his little world. So if you can imagine that beautiful lavender energy, that creative power flowing, always available to you, flowing into your mind. When you first begin to visualize seriously, you might find that it seems like someone else might be forming the same picture, and you might worry that someone else will steal your idea. You don't have to give yourself any worry. There's no concern. Simply try to realize that your picture is an orderly exercise of the universal creative power specifically applied. So the creative power that's always flowing is coming into your mind. Are you unique. You are an individual expression of creative power. And you can be sure that no one can work in opposition to you. The universal law of harmony prevents that. Your mental picture is the universal mind specifically exercising its inherent powers of initiative and selection. Your higher power, universal mind, God, made each of us for the special purpose of differentiating himself through him. So, depending on your version of God or universal power, you are a unique expression of that energy. What you want is different from your parents, your children, your neighbors, even your spouse. You were made for a unique, special purpose of differentiating this creative power. So, what is it that you truly desire? If you're relaxed, maybe you've been walking along the beach with me and you can see a beach chair with a table, a pen and a paper on it. Let's just sit down in that chair for a moment. Grab the pen and paper and write. Is there something in your mind, something in your heart that you truly desire? Pretend that you're writing it. And if you have a pen and paper in front of you, I encourage you to write down, I am so happy and grateful now that. And then God, Spirit, universal intelligence, the great architect of the universe, will give you ideas that might seem big, beautiful, fantastic, maybe even a little scary because you don't know how it could ever happen. But by the divine nature, what if everything worked out so that what you imagine becomes true? It becomes your reality. The picture in your mind is the divine substance in its original state, taking form through the individualized center of your mind, the divine operation of your marvelous mind. And you have the power flowing through you, this divine spiritual substance. Write down anything that you truly desire. Make it big, make it bold, make it your heart's desire. Just allow the pen to flow onto the paper. I am so happy. I am so grateful now that. I'm going to give you a few minutes to just write from the heart, and I'll be back. Good morning again. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Genevieve Behrend says some people feel it's not really proper to visualize for things. Some people say it's too material. Why material form is necessary for the self-recognition of spirit from the individual standpoint. And this is the means through which the creative process is carried forward. Therefore, far from matter being an illusion and something which ought not to be, matter is the necessary channel for the self-differentiation of spirit. Let's think about visualizing and put it into a logical foundation. Each individual will do this in their own way. My wish is that you will understand. Genevieve Behrend says she's pointing out to you the easiest way she knows, which is what Thomas Troward taught her. The only mystery in connection with visualizing is the mystery of life taking form, governed by unchangeable and easily understood laws. We all possess more power and greater possibilities than we realize. And visualizing is one of the greatest of these powers. It brings other possibilities to our observation. When we pause to think for a moment, we realize that for anything to exist, it has to start in the mind first. All individual minds bind together with the cosmic mind to a certain generic unity of action, thereby producing all things as realities and nothing as illusions. Just meditate on this paragraph from Thomas Troward. Get into the spirit of this. He says, "My mind is a center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in the past experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. Therefore, since the divine cannot change its inherent nature, it must operate in the same manner with me. Consequently, in my own special world, of which I am the center, it will move forward to produce new conditions, always in advance of any that have gone before." The words expressed, Genevieve Behrend says this is exactly what she had been seeking. Her one desire was for peace of mind. I found it comforting. Believe that the divine operation in me could expand to fuller expression and produce more and more contentment. In fact, a peace, mind, and a degree of contentment greater than I had ever known. This paragraph further inspired Genevieve with deep interest to feel that the life spark in her could bring into her life something entirely new. It does the same for you. It does not obliterate your past experience, but that's exactly what Troward said it would not do. The divine operation would not exclude any past experience, but proceeding out of it would bring some new things that would transcend anything that you have ever experienced before. Think about your joyful goal. What would it be like? What a wonderful thing it would be if you could just accept and sincerely believe beyond all doubt that this one statement of Troward's was true. Surely the divine could not change its inherent nature. Whether you believe in God, universal mind, Holy Spirit, the divine is omnipotent, all powerful, no beginning, no end. Since a divine life is operating in you, you must be divinely inhabited, and the divine in you must operate just as it operates on the universal plane. This means your whole world of circumstances, friends, and conditions would ultimately become a world of contentment and enjoyment, of which you are the center. This would happen just as soon as you're able to control your mind and provide a center around which the divine energies could play. Isn't that worth trying for? Imagine your mind is the center of divine operation, and the divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. This means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in past experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. Since the divine cannot change its inherent nature, it must operate in the same manner with you. Consequently, in your special world of which you are the center, the divine energy will move forward to produce new conditions, always in advance of any that have gone before. What are you creating with your marvelous mind? Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'll see you back here for our thinking into results, and tomorrow morning for another round of morning mindfulness. Thank you.